From this event, the past 2 days, the takeaway from us here is that for us as a country, if we must build Nigerian infrastructure, we must embrace the culture of public-private partnership. We have budgetary constraints, our revenue are dwindling, there is not enough funds to build the needed infrastructure for Nigeria. Therefore, we have a robust private sector, which, of course, the summit have shown that funds are available locally and internationally, but we need to unlock them to build our infrastructure. Mr. President has said this very clearly that we must embrace PPP to build the needed infrastructure for Nigeria, and the gaps are clear. So, if we are talking about taking Nigeria to where it should be, then we have no other option at this time in the history of this country other than to embrace PPP for the needed and critical infrastructure for our country. It is time for us to unlock that potential. It is time for us to embrace better with the private sector to build our infrastructure. And they are willing, they are available, and I think this is the time for that partnership necessary to bridge the gap in infrastructure for this country. And as ICRC, we are ready. Many of the agencies that are here have shown commitment. They've created they've stated all the opportunities available, from deep sea port and power to ICT to roads, to in every sector. The opportunities available have been displayed during this conference. And I think after now, we are moving from conversation to reactions. So we are moving from all these discussions to the proper action that we need to unlock capital into building Nigeria's infrastructure. So beyond this summit, one of the takeaway also is that we need to boost the private sector confidence in coming to Nigeria infrastructure space. And it was made clear by the speech of Mr. President that the enabling environment is being created. And as I always say, Mr. President has not interfered in the work of ICRC. He has shown capacity, he has shown support, he has shown belief in PPP as a panacea of solving Nigeria infrastructure. He says it every day: government alone cannot solve it. We must do PPP. While the right framework is there by ICRC, he has given all the approvals that is necessary for PPP to grow in Nigeria. He has never turned down all the approval we took to FEC has been approved by Mr. President. And he has, at critical moment, asked all the MDAs to cooperate to ensure collaboration among one another in terms of structuring, preparing projects that are PPP candidates. And to demonstrate this, in January this year, in the budget circular that was issued, Mr. President made it very clear through the Ministry of Budget and National Planning that all MDAs must embrace PPP and they must pass through using the ICRC Act 2005. That anybody that does not carry out its PPPs in line with the enabling law is against the law. So I think that's shown enough proof and enough support for PPPs by Mr. President, and I think that's what we need. And today, at the end of this summit, investors now know that the platform is ready for business. The platform is ready for investment. Because when we say PPP, we're talking about service delivery. And at the end of the day, building infrastructure is not just the aim of PPP. You build the infrastructure, you maintain them for those periods, and you provide those services. So beyond building infrastructure, beyond providing those services, there's also the operation and maintenance. And those are the things that we are saying. Even the infrastructure that we have, how can we optimize them to give better value to the citizens? And that's the mandate of Mr. President, and that's the clear thing that ICRC has been charged to do, and that's what we are going to do. And that is what people today have discovered and find out, that the opportunities are there in Nigeria. A lot of people were surprised during the summit of the amount of projects that are PPP bankable in this country. And living here today, we've got a lot of calls, a lot of interest in PPPs. And I think, like I said before, we are now moving from discussion to reaction. We are moving from conversation to collaboration. We are moving from just talk to partnerships. And this will lead to PPP deals, this will lead to project delivery, and this will lead to infrastructure development for our country. Most important takeaway for me is that after this summit, what is next? And what is next for ICRC is what is next for Nigeria. And that is building critical infrastructure for this country using PPPs. As you can see, we have panelists from across the world. We have panelists from government agencies. We have panelists from private sector. We have panelists from outside the country. We have panelists from concessionaires. Everybody have come here to discuss about PPP. How far have we gone with PPP? What are the challenges? What are the problems? What are the opportunities? And how do we move away from here to ensure that critical infrastructure are built for Nigerians using the PPP method? So for me, we are going back to ICRC. We are taking all the feedback on board. We are going to come up with a roadmap. When I was appointed initially, I came up with a 6-point agenda to streamline the PPP process for this country. With that, we have removed certain barriers that were impediments to PPPs in Nigeria. Now again, from this PPP, there are a lot of conversation, there are a lot of discourse on how best to improve our process and optimize the infrastructures that we have. So for me, is the next step. The next step is coming out with new rollout policies about to de-risk most of these projects and ensure efficient, transparent, and timely project delivery for Nigerians. And like I said, the kind of support we have gotten here means that people are ready to partner. The investors are waiting. The project owners are waiting. Let's roll out the project for them to embrace it. So it's now left for us to go back and come back to the market to say, coming out from all the discussions, we put everything together. This is the basket of projects that we have for both local and investors to choose from. And that we're ready to do. And that will be the next step for us. And I bet you, by the time we come again, we're not talking of projects, we are talking of projects that have been concluded, not project preparation, not project. We're talking of delivery of projects, signed deals. That's the next thing. Because I could see people left here impressed. Momentum has been great. The interest is enormous. Cost everywhere. Investors now saying that Nigeria is ready for business. ICRC has further repositioned itself. We are further reshaping the PPP space, that we are ready for business, that what is not possible before is possible because of one, we have the political support of Mr. President, and that he has given for, and he says it clearly, his government is a government of PPP, and political risks come in different forms. One is cancellation of projects by the next regime. How does project translate from one regime to the other? How do you ensure that you have the political will? And this, I must say, Mr. President has not interfered in the job of ICRC. Mr. President has not cancelled any PPP project since he came on board. Even the ones that have issues, he has charged us that we should find a way of resolving the issues. Because PPPs are live transactions, PPP contracts are live documents, that from time to time you need to look at the dynamics, and partners must come to the table to ensure that the best for the project, the best for the parties is what is obtainable. So from time to time, this happens. And I must say, finally, in closing for me, I think these 2 days have been awesome. It's been high opener for everybody. It's been a season where a lot of players, stakeholders in the industry gathered to agree on one thing. One, that PPP is the only way to go if Nigeria must meet its infrastructure needs. Two, people also agreed that if we must build a $1 trillion economy, the private sector must play an active role. And in doing this, they must work with the ICRC to ensure that most of the projects that cannot be funded through the revenue or profile, through the budget, will be funded by the private sector. So next is that we come to the market. We must cooperate with the private sector. We must cooperate with the MDAs. We must cooperate with the legislative arm of government. We must have everybody, all stakeholders needed must be on the table to ensure that these deals come true. And that in essence is what we do. But one of our primary mandate is to promote PPPs, facilitate PPPs, and regulate PPPs. And that is all what we are doing. And like I said, we cannot do it alone. We need the collaboration and support of everybody. And that we are getting. In closing, I call on the Nigerians, I call us all stakeholders that this summit must not just be a normal summit. It shouldn't end in a summit of talk, no action. Going forward, we are all going to sit down together and come up with those projects that will unlock the opportunities for infrastructure development for Nigeria. That's the mandate of Mr. President. That's what we are working for, and that's what we will do. Nigeria deserves the best, and I think the best we must give to Nigerians through PPP. Thank you, and God bless.